Get the recording going here. And if you have something to sit on for height, that might feel a little bit better, but it's up to you whether you want to sit in an easy seated position, butterfly with the soles of your feet together, or even in staff with your legs extended out in front of you. So whatever feels the most comfortable for you. I'm going to start with just a little bit of breathing today. So coming into a nice upright position. And you can either close your eyes or find a soft gaze. And bringing your attention to your sit bones. Feeling the contact that they make with the surface underneath of you. Just beginning to send your exhales down into the earth through your sit bones. Feeling yourself becoming a little bit more grounded. If you wish, you can also bring your hands down by your sides and either your fingertips or your palms down onto the floor. Getting a little bit more of a sense of grounding through that tactile sensation as well. And also pressing downward through that spot to help you lower your shoulders away from your ears. Now, without losing that grounding sensation through those contact points, begin to lift up through the crown of your head, feeling a little bit of lightness or lengthening through your spine. Now begin to focus on your breath. Making it a little bit deeper with each inhale and exhale. And seeing if you can make the inhale and the exhale the same length. It doesn't matter how fast it is, maybe counting at an equal pace. And each time you take a round, trying to make it just a little bit longer. Feeling the path that the inhale travels as it comes into your body. The air as it brushes across the outside of your nostrils. The inside of your nose and down the back of your throat. Through the center of your chest and in and out of your lungs. It radiates out through your entire rib cage, not just the front, but also the back. Maybe feeling your inhale, fill your torso 360 degrees. And on your exhale, just allowing some of your tension to melt out of your body. Be feeling it flow out of those contact points and down into the earth. This time, you might use this moment to set an intention for your practice today. Collective intention today is, I am grounded. I'm grounded here in this moment. Setting everything else aside just for an hour while I take this time for myself. Each time you might notice your mind wandering off to somewhere else. Noticing that it has wandered without any kind of attachment or judgment. And then just bringing yourself back into the moment. And we'll take 3 clearing breaths together to exhale all your air out to start. Take a nice full deep inhale. Open your mouth, sigh out. Big inhale through your nose. And exhale, sigh it out. Last one, fill completely. And exhale, let it go. Coming back into a natural rhythm. If your hands are down by your sides, allow them to rest back on top of your legs. And on your next exhale, drop your chin down to your chest. Not using any force, but just the weight of your head pulls your chin downward. With each exhale, feel your neck soften just a little bit more. And notice where this pulls, where you feel the tension, all the way from the top of your skull down to your tailbone. Feel the muscles of your face soften, and maybe even the skin on your face relaxes away from the bones in your skull. Once your neck is fully relaxed, you can either stay here or begin to make slow half or full circles with your head. If you're making full circles, as you come to the back half, making sure to lift up as you roll back in order to make space for the vertebra and the discs in your neck. Making sure to do equal amounts on both sides. So if you're taking full circles, changing directions partway through and knowing or noticing how it feels as you move through this half or full rotation. Keep the muscles of your face soft. And allow yourself to just experience the movement. There's no rush. There's no schedule. No other obligations at this moment besides just being here with your body and your breath. Notice any sticking points or imbalances between the right and the left. Next time you come back to bottom center, pause there. And on your next exhale, feel your head sink just a little bit lower. Bring your head up to neutral. And extend your arms out to the side into a T. Your eyes can remain closed or they can softly blink open. Flex at the wrist so that your palms are facing opposite walls. And begin to draw circles with your arms. Starting out small to kind of feel it out. Continuing to reach out through the base of your palm as you circle. So almost as if we're trying to pull the upper arm bones or reach upper arm bones out of the shoulder joint. Getting a little bit of active engagement of the arms as we reach out and circle. Then switch directions. Noticing how it feels even with that change in direction. And this can be as slow or as fast as your body wants at this moment. Good. Then bringing your arms up overhead, palms face the ceiling and circling here. Kind of like wax on, wax off, right? We can all be Karate Kid right now. Now here you can either let your spine naturally move and maybe extend as you bring your arms overhead, or if you want a little bit different sensation, you can pull your bottom ribs in and lock the torso in place. So the only movement is coming through the shoulder joint. All right, so it can be a little bit of upper back and shoulders, or it can be just the shoulders. Right? Switch directions. And you can choose maybe a little bit of both. Maybe you let the spine come into play, and then maybe you lock in the ribs, pull in the core, lock in the spine, and just allow it to come through the shoulders. Good. So you can inhale, reach up nice and tall, and exhale, release your arms down by your sides. Inhale, sweep your arms back up overhead, palms together to touch at the top. And exhale, turn your palms out and release back down by your sides. Continuing on with the rhythm of your breath. Inhale as you're gathering energy, and exhale as you're releasing some out into the world. And inhale back up, and exhale back down. Now you can keep your eyes looking forward, or you can follow with your gaze, looking up as your arms come up. And as your arms come back down, maybe looking down at the floor, chin to chest. Noticing how those different variations feel as you explore just a little bit. And inhale back up to center. Exhale, left hand reaches down towards the floor and right arm reaches over your right ear. Let your left fingertips walk out away from your left hip to keep your shoulder pulled down away from your left ear. Then look up to the ceiling, past your right arm. Then down to the floor and your left fingertips. Bring your eyes forward. Inhale, left arm back up. Exhale, right hand down, reach with the left. Walk your right fingertips out. Press down into your left sit bone and breathe into the left side ribs. So getting a nice big opening through the left side body. Look up to the ceiling, past your left arm. And down to the floor and your right fingertips. Bring your eyes forward. Inhale, right arm back up. Exhale, reach forward, bow forward. Let your fingertips walk out in front of you. Kind of like we're in a child's pose position with our crossed legs. Or maybe with your legs extended or legs in butterfly, whatever seat you've chosen. Walk your hands back, bring your shoulders back over your hips. If you're in butterfly or your legs are extended out, stay there. And if you're cross-legged, switch whichever leg is in front. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Exhale, twist to the left. Right arm comes to the top of your left knee, and left hand comes behind your seat. Twisting from the bottom up, starting at your tailbone and letting your head come around last. Now keep your torso twisting to the left and look over your right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the right. And left hand on your right knee, right hand behind you. First looking over your right shoulder. Then keep your torso twisting to the right and look over your left shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist left with your breath. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist right. Inhale back to center. Release your hands down to the top of your knees and cupping your knees. If your legs are extended out, then I would recommend coming into butterfly or easy seated. If you're in butterfly, you can stay the same way, or you can move into butterfly if that's more comfortable than easy seated. But cupping the front of your knees here as we do a little bit of spinal rocks, like cat and cow in a seated position. So as you inhale, bring your chest forward, your shoulders back, look up to the ceiling. Then exhale, round your spine, push it back to the wall behind you, look down to your belly button. Inhale, heart open, shoulders back. And exhale to round. Now continuing on with the rhythm of your breath, using your grip on your legs as a way to create a little bit of added support in your cow position or your cat position, and a little bit of torque in your cat position. You can add in any additional movement that you like that helps your body just kind of shed a little bit of stress in order to get it to loosen up and to warm up. Just paying attention to how it feels as we move into the deepest parts of the stretches, but also in the transition between the two. If you're doing any asymmetric movements, evening out on both sides. And then when you're ready, coming back into the center. Then inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Bring your palms together, interlace your fingers, turn your palms up to the ceiling. Now, if your arms are a little bit more forward, that's okay. Or if your elbows need to be bent, that's also okay. And then here we just want to move the palms back overhead and then forward again. And here we're getting the spine involved as well. Just like our cat and cow, we get a little bit of extra movement through the spine, but with the arms in a little bit different position. We don't necessarily have that support and the torque that we had with our hands on the knees. So it might feel a little bit different in that regard. We have to use a little bit more of our abdominals in order to create this movement. But it's also going to feel different with your arms in a little bit different position. Taking one more of each. Coming back into neutral spine and shifting into hands and knees into tabletop. And for this first part, I'm going to face you just so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Because we're not going to move into a cat and cow position again, but it may seem like it's pretty exactly the same, but it's really not. It's similar, but not the same. So when I come into tabletop, and keeping your arms straight, so we don't want to bend the elbows, we want to keep the arms fairly straight. Allow your shoulders to relax, your heart to sink, and your shoulder blades to kind of squeeze together. So your shoulders kind of feel like they're shrugging up towards your ears, or more up towards the ceiling. Good. And then push the floor away, round through your upper back, lift your heart to the ceiling, and spread your shoulder blades apart. So this movement really isn't the same as cat and cow because we're not dipping the back down and then rounding in a lengthwise position. We're doing that more in a widthwise position. So kind of moving back and forth between these two movements. So I'll turn to the side if you need a little bit of a side view here. So just through the shoulders. So we're allowing the shoulders to move through a range of motion within that shoulder joint that allows it to open up some of the tissue that surrounds the joint. Okay? Now you can keep moving in an up and down position, or if you'd like, you can move in a more of a circular position. So the shoulder, the upper arm bone, actually moves a little bit forward and back as it moves up and down. So you're taking this more circular motion, making sure to change directions. And you might feel a little bit of burn in your muscles, right, as we move through this. It can help to loosen it up as well if we get the muscles to engage. Taking just a few more rounds in both directions. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back into neutral. And walk your hands forward, keep your hips above your knees, and release down into puppy dog pose. So here, if it's more comfortable, your hips can sink back towards your heels, right? Into a little bit more of a child's pose. You can also take your knees a little bit wider. This can be uncomfortable for a lot of different people's shoulders. So we have options here for different shapes of the arms. Instead of straight out, we can make more of a diamond shape. You can make a wide V. You can bring your hands together in prayer and bend your elbows to bring your thumbs to the back of your neck. Or you can just try rotating your arms if they're extended straight out. We might make more of a goalpost position. Whatever feels the best for your shoulders. You can also try placing a block or some height underneath of your face rather than coming all the way down to the mat. Now here we're looking just for softness. With each exhale, allowing your neck and your shoulders, your torso, your spine to just soften a little bit. Allow your heart to melt down towards the floor. This pose is also called heart melting. With each inhale, extend out through your tailbone, finding length in your spine. And on your exhale, just softness into the asana. Release your hands back down if your elbows are bent, and walk your hands slowly back underneath of your shoulders, coming back into tabletop. Inhale, lift your left arm up to the ceiling. Open your chest to the sidewall. Exhale, thread the needle, just lightly touch. Inhale, reach back up, lift up, open. And exhale, thread the needle. Good, 3 more times. Inhale, open. Eyes might follow your right fingertips. Exhale, thread the needle. Good, 2 more times. Inhale, reach. Exhale, thread the needle. Good, 1 more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, thread the needle and hold on this last round. Now as we hold here, starting with your left hand in front of your face, become a little bit active by pressing the left hand down into the mat. And in opposition, pressing down through your right knee. So here we're kind of like wringing a dish rag, right? Where we get a little bit of force in opposite directions so that we can twist in the center. Now, if you like that, you can stay here, or you can find some other options that might feel better for you, or just different. Reaching your left hand forward to the top of your mat. Your left arm can come up to the ceiling or even wrap behind your back. Try adjusting your neck so that it's in neutral alignment. A lot of times we want to get really soft in the neck and allow the ear to sink down to the floor. But to keep the neck in neutral alignment, try lifting up so that you're resting on your right temple instead of your right ear. Good, 1 big deep inhale through your nose. And exhale, side out. If your left hand is not underneath your left shoulder, slide it back. Press into your left hand, inhale, reach back up, open your chest, and release your right hand back down to the mat. Inhale, lift your left arm up to the ceiling. Exhale, thread the needle. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, thread the needle. 3 more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, thread the needle. 2 more. Thread the needle. And last one. Holding as you come down. And maybe starting off by pressing into your right hand and your left knee. Grounding down and supporting through those contact points in order to allow yourself some stability and a little bit of extra torque into that twist. Readjust your neck if you need. Now, if it feels good, you can turn and look your eyes up to the ceiling. We just want to make sure that our neck is in a nice neutral alignment lengthwise. Right? So we're not creating some compression on the sides. Noticing and honoring any differences on the right and the left. Taking any other hand placement that might suit your body on this side. And it might be a different option than you chose on the other side, depending upon what imbalances you run across. And if your right hand is not underneath your shoulder, return it to that position. Slowly press into the right hand. Inhale, reach up tall. And exhale, release back down. Walk your hands just a little bit forward as we press up and back into downward facing dog. Curl your toes under, lift your hips high, and begin to walk it out. And maybe here we even pick up the feet and bring them really close together until the balls of the feet touch. And then we walk them out wide until we're at the edges of the mat. And then slowly coming back into hip distance. Reach the crown of your head forward to the space in between your thumbs to create that space and length in your neck that we're looking for in this posture. Then slowly coming into stillness. Inhale, lift up onto your toes, send your sit bones a little bit higher. Exhale, press back down towards the mat. Inhale, raise back up onto your toes. Exhale, press back down. Then one more. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Inhale, come forward into high plank. Maybe readjusting your feet if you felt like you needed to make them a little bit wider or a little bit narrower as far as how far they are from your hands. Pull your navel in, pull your bottom ribs up and in. Press through your heels and lift your inner thighs up to the ceiling. Grip with the pads of your fingers. Good, exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward, high plank. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Good, look forward to the top of your mat. Lift up onto your tippy toes and tippy toe walk to the top of your mat. Keeping your hips lifted, your belly button pulled in, and coming up to flat feet in forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, press, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Separate your feet out for ragdoll. That might be hip distance, it might be mat distance, it might be a lot wider. And then a big generous bend in your knees. Allowing your torso to hang heavy. Getting a little bit of decompression in your spine. If your hamstrings or your low back are really cranky from sitting too much, you can bring your elbows on top of your knees and just press into your the top of your thighs with your elbows to lengthen your crown out to get that decompression we're looking for here. So pulling your shoulder blades back and together, lengthening up through the crown of your head. Or if you're hanging, you can grab opposite elbows. You can interlace your fingers around the outside of your legs. You can interlace your fingers behind your back. Let your arms come over your head towards the top of your mat. If you're in a bind, release your hands back down to the floor. Place your right hand under your face, fingers pointed towards your left foot. Then exhale, twist to the left. Now we have a bigger bend in the right knee than in the left, but probably still a bend in both knees, especially if you don't have a block to work with today. Your left arm can extend all the way up to the ceiling, or you can bring it to your low back, to your hip, wrap it behind your back, tuck with the top of your right thigh. See if you can readjust your neck so that it feels a little bit better. Look down at your right hand, then slowly turning back to the left. If your arm's extended up, take some movement through your fingers, your wrist, your elbow, your shoulder, and just seeing what feels good here. Or you can find some stillness. Good. Release your left hand down, fingers pointed towards your right foot. On your exhale, twist to the right. Finding the position through your right hand that feels the best for your right shoulder. Using any of those same options that were given on the other side. Or being creative with something that might feel good for you. Taking some time to readjust your neck if it feels like it's out of alignment. And don't forget to breathe. Take an inhale and exhale, release back down. Heel toe your feet together to wherever you like them for mountain. Inhale, halfway lift, press and lengthen. Exhale, forward folds. Take 3 to 4 breaths to come all the way up into standing. Press down into your feet. Roll up one vertebra at a time. Coming all the way up into mountain. Release your hands down by your sides. Ground down into the 3 corners of your feet. The big toe and little toe mound and your heel. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Exhale, twist to the left. Arms extend straight out from the shoulders. And here we want to try to pull the left hip bone forward so that the hips are still square with the top edge of the mat. Both knees are fairly straight but not locked out. Now you can take hands to hips if this feels better for your shoulders. Good, inhale back to center, reach up, find some length. Exhale, twist to the right. Again, pulling your right hip bone forward. Maybe we look down and try to glance and see, or maybe we notice that the weight in the feet has shifted and we want to even that out. Inhale back to center. Exhale, cactus arms, nice, easy back bend. Pull your shoulder blades together and flatten them up against the back of your ribs. Continue to breathe. Each inhale creates a little bit more space in your spine, and exhale, a little bit of engaging through the abdominals to help support here. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, forward fold, bend in your knees. Good. Inhale, halfway lift, press, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Step back with your right foot into low lunge. Drop your right knee down to the mat. Inhale, sweep your arms up, crescent moon. Exhale, slide forward, cactus arms. Inhale, slide back, reach up. And exhale, slide forward. Inhale, slide back. Exhale, forward. Inhale. And exhale. Keep your tailbone scooped under. Come forward, frame your left foot. Place your right hand to the inside of your left foot. On your exhale, twist to the left. Your hand might come to your hip, to your low back, or to the ceiling. Good. Turn and frame your left foot. Lift your right knee coming back into low lunge. On your exhale, straighten your left leg as much as your body allows. Intense side stretch. So here we can keep a really big bend in the knee or bring our hands up onto height if you have blocks or books or something you're using for that. Allow your hips to be pulled back towards the back edge of your mat as your crown is being pulled forward to the top edge of your mat. Press down through your right heel. Pull your navel in and extend it out through your heart. Good. Come forward into low lunge. Press down into your left foot. Take a quiet, controlled step up into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, press, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Exhale, twist to the left. Now this time your hips can come along with you. Maybe you get a little bit of a bend in your right knee as the hips twist, especially if you're feeling any discomfort in your knees. Right, reach long or hands to hips if that feels a little bit better. Then inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the right. Again, maybe a bend in the left knee. And your hips can open up to the side just a little bit as well. Notice how it feels in your spine and how it's transitioned to different parts. Good. Inhale back to center. Exhale, cactus arms. Maybe a high cactus or maybe a low cactus. Bringing your elbows and squeezing them into the floating ribs. Inhale, reach back up. Bend your knees, forward folds. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Step back with your left foot into low lunge. Drop your left knee down to the mat. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, slide your hips forward, cactus arms. Inhale, slide back, extend. Exhale, slide forward, squeeze. Inhale, back. Exhale, forward. Inhale. And exhale. Last one, in. And out. Come forward, frame your right foot. Place your left hand down to the inside of your right foot. As you exhale, twist to the right. Again, your hands might extend up to the ceiling, might come to your hip, low back, or extend back towards the back edge of your mat. Seeing whatever feels the best for your unique body here on this side. Turn to frame your right foot. Lift your left knee into low lunge. As you exhale, intense side stretch. Now you might notice difference between the right and the left and modifying with a different bend in the knee. My right hamstring is definitely complaining more than my left. So taking a little bit bigger bend here. Pull your right sit bone back as your left hip bone shifts forward. But then both hips from the sacrum are being pulled back as your crown is reaching out, your heart is reaching out. Energy in both directions here. Good. Come forward into low lunge. Take a quiet, controlled step up into forward fold. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Exhale, back bend, cactus arms. Inhale, sweep back up. This time sit into chair. So trying to sit back so that you can see your toes. Getting your knees to be the same distance that your ankles are at. Take an inhale and exhale, twist to the left. Here we want to glance down and make sure that the right knee isn't getting greedy. We want to pull it back so both knees are in the same plane. Again, your hands can come to the hips if that feels better for your shoulders, using your abdominal strength in order to open your shoulders to side and your hip strength to keep your knees in the same plane. Good, inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the right. Again, sometimes we can feel the shift with the weight in the feet, or we might just need to take that glance down to make sure that the knees are staying in the same plane. Inhale back to center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Place your hands down on the mat. Take a step back into high plank. You can stay in the high plank or drop down to your knees into the modified plank. Feel your hands pressing down as your heart lifts through your upper back to the ceiling. Feel your navel lift in, your bottom ribs pull up and in. Your legs are nice and active. Press through your heels, lift through your inner thighs. On your inhale, hinge forward onto the tippy toes or pull forward to the top of your knees. And on your exhale, lower all the way down onto your belly. Elbows point to the back wall. Release the tops of your feet down to the mat. And reach as far as you can towards the back edge of your mat with your tippy toes. Like you're trying to pull your femurs out of the hip socket. Press down into the shoelace side of your toes, of your feet. And not just the big toe, but the little toes as well. Inhale, pull with your hands, drag your heart forward. Keep breathing, low cobra. Let your elbows pull towards the back wall, your shoulder blades squeeze towards one another. Pull your navel up into your spine. And your legs keep reaching nice and long. Press into the pinky toes. Exhale, release all the way down. Bring your right ear to the mat. Extend your right arm out to the right into a half T position with your palm down. Slowly roll over onto your right hip. Now your legs can just stack with your knees bent. You can place your left foot on the floor with your knee bent and pointed to the ceiling. Whatever feels the best for you here. Now your head can hover. You can place it on a block or a pillow, or you can let your head rest on the floor. Whatever feels most comfortable for your shoulder and your neck. Now if your body is a little bit more open, you can take your left arm behind you and take the half or the bind with your right hand. But you can also just let your left hand rest behind your back, on your hip, or place it in the mat in front of you to help you from rolling back over onto your stomach. Roll back onto your belly. Extend your left arm out to the left, palm down, and slowly rolling over onto the left side. Now our shoulders can be really pretty delicate, and sometimes we move too fast, too hard, too far. So just taking your time to listen to your shoulders and know what they need. Taking whatever placement for your head and neck feels the most comfortable, and also your right arm. It may be a little bit different on this side than the other. Come back onto your belly. Bring your hands underneath of your shoulders. We can move through this transition from our knees or from the toes. We're going to move up through plank or tabletop and back into downward facing dog. And take a moment again to walk it out, to see how it feels here. To observe from head to toe. Then look forward to the top of your mat, step, hop, or float. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, coming all the way up. Exhale, back bend, cactus arms. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, sit into chair. This time, bringing your hands to heart center. As you inhale, bow forward. Exhale, twist to the left. Now your left elbow might go to the outside of your left knee, or it might go in between your thighs. Whatever feels the best here is most accessible. Once you have your elbow in place, bringing your knees so that they're in the same plane once again. Press your palms firmly together to see if you can get a little bit of more engagement to help you into this twist. Readjust your neck if it feels a little funky, or maybe it just looks or feels better to look down at the floor. And continue to breathe. Good, inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the right. Again, we might have a little bit more mobility on one side than the other. So you can choose either between the thighs or to the outside of your right thigh. Press the palms firmly together. Adjust your neck if you need. Adjust your knees so that they're in the same plane, that the hips are level. Inhale back to center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Step back with your right foot into low lunge. Inhale, sweep all the way up into crescent warrior. Exhale, bow forward, airplane arms. Press back through your right heel. Lift through your right hamstring. Get your right leg to engage here. Stack your left knee over your second toe. Pull your navel in. Inhale, reach back up. Stand up nice and tall. Exhale, bow forward, airplane arms. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, dive forward. One more. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, twist to the left. So arms extend out or they come to the hips, whatever feels good here. Notice whether you're rocking to the pinky toe side of your back foot and try to bring it more so into the big toe side. Keep pressing back through your right heel. Inhale back to center. Come forward, freeing your left foot. Step up into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Exhale, back bend, cactus arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sit into chair. Bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, bow forward. Exhale, twist to the left. Now here, if you want to throw in a little bit of balance, you can begin to switch your weight over into your right foot. Come up onto the toes, your left foot. Come up onto the toes of your right foot, and maybe lifting your right foot up so you look like a little lawn flamingo, right? Press your thighs together, right into the left and the left into the right. Good, come back to the center. Exhale, twist to the right. On this one, it's a little bit easier if your elbow is on the outside of your right thigh. And maybe you just leave your toes on the mat as a little kickstand to help with balance. Maybe you pick it up. Noticing how it differs from the right to the left without judgment. Good, come back to the center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Step back with your left foot into low lunge. Inhale, sweep up, crescent warrior. Exhale, bow forward, airplane arms. Again, press back with your left heel. Feel the muscles wrap the bones to give you support in the left leg. Press down into the 3 spots on your right foot, big toe, little toe mound, and heel. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bow forward. 2 more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bow forward. Belly button in, shoulder blades together. Last one. Inhale up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, reach up. Create length. Exhale, twist to the right. Good, hands can come to your hips. Listen to your shoulders. Maybe it's just one. See what feels the best for you. Inhale, come back to center. Come forward, frame your right foot. Take a step up into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Exhale, back bend, cactus arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist left. Your choice, whether you want the hips square or whether you want them to come along with you for the twist. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist to right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, reach out, extend. Exhale, forward fold. Place your hands on the mat, step or jump back into high plank or modified. Press the mat away. Lift your heart up to the ceiling. Inhale, hinge forward, and exhale, lower all the way down onto your belly. Bring your right ear to the mat. Bend your left knee so that your heel comes in towards your sit bone. And if you can, reach back and grab your left foot. This might be where your strap becomes handy, where you can wrap it around your foot to get a little bit of extra length on your arms. And then just pulling your heel in tight towards your sit bone. Now we can be pretty passive about this and allow the hips to just kind of relax. Or if you'd like a little bit more activation, actively pressing your left hip bone down into the mat. Just changes the dynamic just a little bit and the sensations that you experience. And we're kind of spring loaded, so be careful as you release. Bring your left ear to the mat. Reach back and pull your right heel in towards your right sit bone. And we might have a little bit of a bend in the right hip, or we might actually press down into the right hip, extending all the way out. Be careful how it feels in your knee joint. If there's any uncomfortable pulling, being aware of that. Maybe backing off just a little bit. Release your grip. And roll over onto your back, however you can comfortably get there. Bring your feet to the mat with your knees bent. Spread your feet out wide to the edges of your mat and let your knees windshield wiper from right to left. Now we can also make this passive and just let the weight of the legs slowly pull them from right to left, only using as much energy and effort as is needed to bring them back to center. Or you can get a little bit more active. So say as your knees are coming over to the left, you would actively press into the inner right arch to extend your right hip forward and get a little bit more opening through the right hip, through the front of the right hip. Then slowly coming back to center, and maybe the same thing on the left. Pressing and extending through the left hip. We would relax, allow the hips to come back to center. So your choice, whether you want to be just kind of passive, allowing just that nice massage across the back of your hips, or whether you're looking for a little bit more opening through the front of your hips, which can be kind of nice if you're stuck at a desk a lot more than you're used to these days. Now again, you might feel some pulling down in the quadricep where it attaches into your knee. And so just kind of noticing how that feels across the top of your knee, across your patella. And maybe just backing off a little bit if you experience some pain there. Evening out on both sides. And then come back to the center. Bring your feet into hip distance. Reach your hands down by your sides and lower your shoulders away from your ears. So reaching down towards the bottom of the mat. Now you can keep your hands down by your sides for support. Or you can reach them up to the ceiling to challenge yourself with a little less stability here. Press into your heels, pull your tailbone under, and start to lift your hips up into bridge. As we reach the top, and you begin to exhale, slowly roll back down, top to bottom, one vertebra at a time. Letting your spine fully uncurl, and then coming back up on your inhale. Trying to keep your knees in at hip distance or ankle distance as you come to the top. A lot of times our knees want to splay out to the sides. So trying to keep them squeezed into the same distance as you reach up to the top. And just continue with the rolling bridge at your own pace with the rhythm of your breath. Okay. On your next one, as you come up to the top, holding at the top. Now here you might shift your arms so that you can roll your shoulders under, open your heart and your chest, maybe interlace your fingers behind your back, or just simply tucking your shoulders under. If you're a little bit more open or your proportions allow, you might be able to reach down to your heels. Then on your next exhale, slowly rolling back down one vertebra at a time. Bring your feet back wide, let your knees windshield wiper. About 3 rounds on both sides. Then after your low back is kind of released a little bit from that active bridge pose, and taking your knees into your chest. Here, hug your nose up to your knees. Give yourself a nice big squeeze, rounding your spine. Release your head back down to the mat. If you like, you can take a little bit of movement here. Extend your feet up to the ceiling. Bend your knees, externally rotate, kind of bring it out by your shoulders for happy baby. Here you might find some movement or some stillness, whatever feels the best for you here. You might even get a little playful, maybe bending one knee and then the other. Just kind of exploring how it feels as you play around with how much of a bend you have in your knees, how that impacts your hamstrings, your glutes, your low back. And release. Finding a position of your choice for your final relaxation, Shavasana. Taking your time to set up your final relaxation. A lot of times in our fast-paced world, this can be the hardest part of our practice. But a lot of times, it can be the most beneficial part of our practice. Allow yourself some time to fidget, to move your body into that comfortable position. And then notice each of the points of your body that are in contact with the earth. Begin to send your breath down and out through those contact points. Maybe it's one at a time until you've reached all of them, or maybe it's a little bit in every single one. Feel yourself become one with the earth. Revisiting our collective mantra today, I am grounded. I'm grounded in this moment. There are no other obligations besides just to be here with my body and my breath. Notice your breath as it travels in and out of your body. Feel the muscles of your face soften. As your shoulders sink down towards the earth, your heart lifts ever so slightly. Becoming open to receive all the positive energy that surrounds you. Taking these final few moments of silence just for you. I'll bring you out in just a few breaths. You may stay as long as you like in your fun and relaxation. If you're feeling grounded here and you just wish to stay, please feel free to stay. If you're ready to move on with the rest of your evening, a little bit of movement into your extremity by wiggling your fingers and toes. When you're ready, pulling or rolling onto your side and taking a few breaths in a supported fetal position. When you're ready, pressing into your hands, coming up into a comfortable seat. You bring your hands to heart center, your palms together in prayer. Lift your thumbs up to third eye, honoring kind thoughts. Coming down to your lips to honor kind words. And back to your heart center to honor kind intentions. And bowing your thinking mind to the seat of the light and the love within. I honor everything that is within you because it also resides within me. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Namaste.